Good evening, YouTube. My name is Billy and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to make a very simple dinner, but it's going to be really good. It's going to be lamb chops, garlic mashed potatoes, and just English peas. Simple doesn't always have to be boring, and a lot of foods really don't take that much time to cook. So let's get started. I've already got my pot of water boiling with pretty heavily salted, and then we're going to go ahead and slice up our potatoes and get those cut down just so they will cook a little bit faster. And we can go ahead and just start dropping those in the water. I really need to get a larger cutting board. I've had this one for so long. I tend to get really attached to all my little kitchen things because I've had them forever. Okay. I really prefer to use fresh vegetables when I can, but sometimes, we're just really busy and we just need to speed things up. So we're going to use a can of English peas. And I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. Canned vegetables, you really don't want to add too much more salt because they have a lot of salt already in them. Now these little bone-in lamb chops, these are really good. They're not that expensive, and they cook really fast, and they're really versatile. You could bake these, you could fry these, you could grill these. Either way, they don't take very long, and they're pretty, if you look closely, it's kind of like having a little miniature T-bone steak. They're really good. Okay. Okay, what we're going to do with these is we're just going to lightly salt and pepper each side. I'm just going to use my tongs so I don't have to keep washing my hands. I wash my hands a lot at work because I work in healthcare, so they look really beat up. So when I'm at home, I do want clean hands, but Now you can season these with other herbs and spices. I like to use rosemary. However, once again, I cater to a slightly picky crowd, so we're gonna go with thyme. Thyme works just as well, and it doesn't have the larger pieces that some people refer to as little sticks. Okay. Now these don't take very long at all, so I'm not even gonna put these on to cook until the potatoes are already done. I'm gonna use a cast iron skillet with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm just gonna pan sear these for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side, just depending on how well you want the meat. And the same thing goes for grilling them. You could pat them with your basting brush with a little bit of butter or olive oil. Do your salt and pepper and whatever you want to season it with, and then just grill those on 3 to 5 minutes on each side. And cast iron is really a great option, you know, when it's winter time and it's cold. You know, I mean, I know there are a few diehard fans that will grill even if there's a blizzard outside, but I'm not that brave. So we're just gonna get our pan ready. And you don't need a lot of olive oil, just coat the pan just enough to where they're not gonna stick. You can stop. Okay, our potatoes are almost done, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn the cast iron skillet with the olive oil to medium heat. And you wanna work pretty quickly because olive oil has a very low smoke point, so you don't want to let it get too hot. So we're gonna take 2 medium-sized or pretty good-sized cloves of garlic, and we're gonna mince that up pretty finely. Stop. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drain our potatoes. You want to drain them pretty well. Okay, and I just like to take a potato masher and just work them up. Doesn't really take any longer than getting your mixer out and your beaters and clean up. It just takes longer. Okay, we're gonna start with half a stick of butter and salt, pepper, and then we're going to take our garlic and go ahead and dump that in. Right into the potatoes. And we're just going to mix that up. Okay, I hear our olive oil starting to pop, so we're gonna just take our little lamb chunks and we're just gonna put them right in. You don't want the oil too hot. Olive oil can burn really quickly and give your food a pretty, a burnt flavor. Okay, and I'm just gonna let those sit like that. I'm gonna put the timer on 3 minutes, and then after 3 minutes I will check them. They really don't take that long at all. About 3 to 5 minutes on each side, just depending on how well you like yours. If you like medium rare, probably about 3 minutes on each side. I'm going to salt and pepper again. Now, sometimes what I like to do instead of using milk in the mashed potatoes, I like to take about a tablespoon or so of sour cream. Works really well. You don't need very much. It just gives it a really nice creamy texture and flavor. And it really goes well with the garlic. Taste that. And that's perfect. You have to really be careful with the salt because the butter already has salt in it and you salted the water as well. You'll hear me say a lot, I don't use a lot of salt, and I don't. It's just not something I like a lot of. I do like it, I do, appreciate it, but I don't ever use a lot of salt. But you can get really good, amazing flavors without adding a lot of salt. Okay, that's it. After the 3 minutes on each side, you're going to take your lamb chops up and you're just going to lay them. You could use a plate or just a clean cutting board. And you want to let those rest for about 5 minutes. And if you look closely, you can see how it's really nice and golden brown. That's exactly what you want. They're still tender, they're still juicy, and they're perfectly done. 3 to 5 minutes on each side, and they're just delicious. The meat is so tender, and it's just really good. That's it.